Hi guys, before we start the lesson I want you to look at this picture. Leave the comments what comes to your mind. Now let's get started. In the last lesson we figure out how the camera sees the light. Today our topic of the lesson is what tools can be used to regulate how much light gets into the camera. It will be a little difficult today, but this is necessary to understand how the camera works. I will try to explain it in the simplest words possible. By the way, I don't even know the complicated words. So, to get a photo, we need to let some lights into the camera. This light hits the sensor and an image is formed from this light. This is how it looks. How we see a cat. Light from the sun, lamps, or anything falls on the cat. The light reflected from the cat hits the sensor and we get an image of the cat. With your eyes, you can't adjust the volume of the lights, but on your camera we can do like this or we can do like this. We have three tools to control the amount of the light. That's the aperture, shutter speed, and ISO. We can show it as a triangle. Each of these three tools can make the picture lighter or darker. But you need to understand when to use which tool. So let's go step by step. Aperture is several curtains in your lens. They open and close, making the hole wider or narrower. This is what it looks like. This is a Canon lens 85mm f1.2. When here is the smallest hole, I have aperture f16. This means that the lens let in the minimum of the light. The curtains are practically closed. If the curtains are maximally open and they are not visible at all, I have an aperture f1.2. This means that the lens lets in a maximum of the lights. The curtains are open. The aperture is a mechanical thing. That is, they exist physically and you just saw it. By the way, the more the aperture is open and the smaller the distance to the subject, the more blurriness of the background. You can take a photo of a person against a background of the garbage and no one will understand that here is the garbage there. There will just be a beautiful blur. If you need to blur the background, then you need to open the curtains as wide as possible. If the picture is too light, then you need to increase the shutter speed. If, on the contrary, you want to show the beautiful mountains behind the person, then you need to close the aperture. So thus the picture doesn't become too dark. You need to reduce the shutter speed or raise the ISO. And so on every time. You want to add or subtract the blur, you want to freeze the movement, or on the contrary, you need some movement into the frame on the picture. It doesn't matter why you change the setting. If you want to preserve the amount of the light on the picture, but change one of the settings, then you need to compensate for the amount of the light with the one or sometimes two other tools. Let's move on. The second way to control the amount of the light is shutter speed. The shutter used to be a real mechanism too. Now there is a real mechanical and electronic shutters. There are also hybrid systems that have both a mechanical and electronic shutter. The essence of the work is the open and close and the letting in the light. Mechanical shutter is look like this. This is how the Canon website shows. The curtains move and the light hits the sensor line by line. I will try to show it more clearly. There is two curtains. They move one after another. The higher the shutter speed, the smaller the gap between the first and second curtains. This means that the little light gets in. Let's say that's it's 1/2000 of the second. There is a approximate number so that you can understand the idea. If you need to let in more light, you need to reduce the shutter speed, for example, 1/200. And now the distance between the curtains has become larger. The larger the gap, the more light gets inside. If you need even more light, then we will make the shutter speed even slower, like this. Now we have 132. Even more light passes through, but with such shutter speed, we cannot photograph someone in motion. We will have the shake. If you want to take a photo when the car lights turn into red and white lines like this, then you need a low shutter speed. For example, let's make 10 or 20 second. It's depend. The shutter curtains are open for a long time, which means will be too much light, and you need to close the aperture so that the picture is not too bright. If you need to photograph someone in motion, then set in no slower than 1/200. The faster the person move into the frame, the higher the shutter speed should be. The higher the number, the faster the shutter speed. The third tool is ISO, is the light sensitivity of your camera sensor. ISO doesn't exist physically, it's a software thing. During the day there is a lot of light outside and we need ISO 100. The darker the shooting conditions, the higher the ISO will have to be raised. We can say it differently. The higher the ISO, the less light the camera needs to take a picture. The lower your ISO value, the better the picture will be. For Instagram, this is not important, but if you're gonna print your photos, it will be noticeable. High ISO also affect how much information can be extracted from the photo during the processing. I mean, if you made a mistake when shooting and the photo is, for example, too dark, then if you have an ISO 100, this means that you have a great chance to correct the mistake on the post-production when you're going to edit your photos. By the way, many people think that the noise in the photos appears due to high ISO. This is not true. Noise appears due to a lack of light. I will show you. We take the first picture with the good light. Now I reduce the brightness of the lamp and take the picture number 2. On the first picture everything is fine. There is no noise and you can see the lines of each piece of the paper. On the second picture we have a noise. Okay guys, this is what we got. This is picture number 1, the first one, and this is picture number 2. This one have a ISO 100 and the number 2 have with 25,600. It's crazy. No one shoot with this number of ISO. It's just to show you. Okay, we have this one a little lighter. Let's make the exposure make it a little lower, like this.
Yeah, now the face is the same brightness. Okay, let's see. This is 100 ISO, and we can see the every sheets of paper, the lines, and I focus on the paper. This is why this area is not in a focus, not so sharp. It's blurred. This is the focus line. Okay, and the next one, of course, on this number of ISO 25,600, we have a noise, and but we still have good details, and you can't say this is like the unusable photo. This is 100% commercial usable photo. You can print it, you can post it on the internet, you can do whatever you want. And let's try to. I'm gonna remove the noise and see what we can have with just click on a couple buttons. We need to wait a couple seconds. And let's see what we got. So this is 25,600 and it's crazy. We have a perfect image. And it's look like we have more sharpness, more details than the picture with check this out, 100 ISO. This a little less sharpness. This is 25,600. It's crazy. It's crazy, crazy. And this on the background. It's almost same, but this area it doesn't matter. And this is 25,600. And again, you can use this one 100%. It's you can sell it for your customer 100%. No one tell you this is a bad photo. It's 100% commercial usable. Of course, this one is better, but if you have to shoot with the such high ISO like 25,600, again, no one shoot with this ISO. You can just click on a couple buttons and you have result which that for me it's better than the picture on the ISO 100. I think you can modify in this one also, but anyway, this is all what you need to know about the ISO. Just don't afraid the ISO, don't afraid the high ISO. Just bring some good light and you don't never have any problem.
Now, when the salesperson tell you in the store about you need to buy this expensive camera because only this camera have like 100,000 ISO, you should understand that's the only marketing. In fact, you just need a good light when shooting. Of course, sometimes you have to shoot where the little light and the more expensive camera will give you the opportunity to shoot with the higher ISO value, and there is will be less noise and better picture. But it's always better to add the light Therefore, the lower the ISO when shooting, the better. But if you are shooting a wedding, a birthday, or anything, and suddenly some cool moments, something touchable happens, then it's better to take a shot with a lot of noise, but not to miss the moment, like here. Emotion are much more important than a technically correct photo. People will look at these photos many years later and maybe cry from pleasant memories, and they will not care about the noise. When I showed you this photo, did you think about the noise? Did you think about this picture noisy? I don't know about you, but the parents of this girl and she by herself never think about something like this picture is noisy. Again, about the ISO. Of course, it's better to have the lowest ISO. If you are shooting in a dark place, then add the light. If by adding the light you kill the atmosphere of the moment, so you don't need the light, just take a photo. Don't mind the noise, just don't think about it. You are not an engineer, you are not creating a spaceship. You are a photographer. You don't create the blueprints, you make the photos. You give people emotions, just capture the moment. Likes, comment there. See you.